enkwada se ye kase 2024 mu se enkwada no a wotumi wura mu no dosho enkwada be se mpemu ahenum ani akirei ene wotumi wura mu wo free senior high school na ye mesi kwan se enkwada no ntumi nko school bio wonum be konenso kro no a wo kono enya de se ye de enkwada so be kwa akogu school mu ne ase aduane e wo se enkwada baby e wo se wodi wotiri tuo na yaka ne yentumi nwie eti abusia enne ebani ni sujumadi iso free senior high school nsem no ye kom na yahwe ntoto ya mpanimfo ye ne ewomwo na ansa na no wonim se mampani ya wote so mampani John Dramani Mahama se asoafo ya bone wo be yadwuma no wahyase egbo wodin eti yenya ye kura na no miensa no wodi ka de miensa betudwa ya soafo awoso ne wo be yadwuma enten mwemra hyebedwafo wa na so kura chesa appointment committee vetting no o mahyase a omoye no na wotie mpanimfo no asemu a wodi tudwa ye ba ye beye o munya gimitumu a me ba meyese o betting tax levi enche kura ne ye first budget reading no mu ye be ye free one mo ansa ne akwaso ye hwe wo mayi ya mo ne ne ensem so eho pa na hia me anwumre pa ansa na ye dia betie si sa free senior high school nsemi mu esa se wo mayi se nkani abesi so no obi adwuma wo ye wo mayi mu wo a wotoni o wo a woto wo a chese obi ye bibi a wo ye nkani a wo mbi eti se nkani anu so nya gi se fon na esa asem na aba na mom se wotie ne soafo mampani se waboni din se ma hyebadwafo gini tumu a wo be ye soafo edwongina pasem a wo ka se yedani a yisigi adwuma ne wo se ankorankora bam ankorankora bam san wo ba wadwuma wo be ye no ebe ye de he ebe ye PDS de ni bia na se foforo ben ena ye beka se ankorankora bam no ma bebuwa ma ECG adwuma wo mo ye no ene ma atumi akoso se ye benya adwumakuo bi se adwumakuo yi ba ne wo be ye de aboa ECG wo wadwuma yomu se ECG ye beka se ya dankaniem na ECG se eduru se ye agigi ye sika ye ntumi nyeje eti etumi mi ye boka se ye de anyina monkania ni distribution mu losses a ye meki eno nko a ye sika mu se ye betumi di ye nanya si form se ECG adwumakuo no wadwuma abo ye no ye behu so yie se adwumakuo ne ye adwuma wo meka nkire ye se ya ton ahonene amanfo de fam waba ya noa from January ahonene munyina monche na be wie ye se ye de ache made na nso ye ntumi anygie sika ye de aboka na se problem wo honomo ye wo se ye tumi solve problem no solving the problem no ne say ye beka se privatization say ye be mad ankrankra tumia bamubi ECG adwuma aboyem ana se ECG adwumakuo no yenya competent people se wonya adwuma no obetumi aye na se government interference ni free mo obetumi aye adwuma no eno ne asemo a na ewom efise krata a wohwe a puwufo adwuma ye fo nkamom ko ye wo ECG adwumakuo mo de ene edu sa bre de akrata atwero de omofa no kwa enkrato omodi abeto abontwe mirika omodi abaso ye de privatization of ECG de ye ntachire efri mesantin nyina ne ehu se ebi motete kwanchan ne ewomuo ne se ye benya dwumakuo ye abonu betumi aboa ama ECG agina ne naso se wo ye adwuma na magana fo anya nkane edem na no akiri no enkoba se ye be noa ye nkane na yakase amwonene na de ba ne bo de Ghana fo ntimi ntwa anye sankrankra bam ne yeyi a ankrankra mrem efise ECG adwumakuo ye boho no mo se yete wo magi mu yete wo mai mu na ya akwa yesa bosumi nsia bia yesesa meter se wo mai mu ene wote wono mo a woda adam mu ubehu ani so obi etaripo hu ye dan yo se me sesa meter die nti na wo sesa meter ye new reason bia se ye di meter se ba bebo wo hono mo meter ye de bai ebi ebema improvement ababo meter dada wu yusuo mu ebi ankasa ne wanyina monkania no edimirika ekọ ye di meter we yi ba o ebetumi regularize niema ye betumi an ade atoto dabi meters a ye de ba se ye be yi dada free one mu nyina de more problems na ebre Ghana for eso da bia yes se meter wo mayi mu eno no se wo bi contract se wo bi benya bibi wo enti isi ye adwumako na da honom no ehia se ensakira ye bam eti se nsakira kwanya mpanimfo betumi afa so ama nsakira ya bam na ne ka yesi ye da honom fa ya mo ne niemo yetumi atua ma Ghana fo adanka niemu eno ne ade a Ghana fo hwehwe na me gidi se no so Ghana fo so omoto aba o man to aba se ye ba be lamentations se ye ba be kana we na how we na wo na da bi solving the problem e ka ho eti abanyi se mo se ankrankra bam na be yie na ma munim se ankrankra bam na nti se PDS na mo betumi anya janiu adwumakuo ye abo mo se ye be ye investment ebo ECG mu ye be so ECG mu a ye da se ye ni awo ne ye be ka se ye nuanie Ghana for ne ye hwehwa ne se enkane ani hyiren eti kwanya mbefa so ambe sa adwuma ne ntem so no ma ye na Ghana for ye ho adwen eti veti mpanimfo ye omukọ ye nyina omo nsam omoka na me ba meye wei na me ba committee ye behwe na ne se ye de ankrankra beba ni nyina yi si juo sahio ye hwe mu ye tie duru ho no mo a ne ehu ne ye de bekọ babusia anwumre se ne medical de atodwa no ye wo Free Senior High School say ye kase ye nsakira ye bom ana say ye beka minyin ni se Free Senior High School de minyin ni sa ban bi betumi akase metwam minyin ni sa ban bi betumi akase Free Senior High School no metwam se ne nsakira ye bi wom ne ye se ye nsakira ye wo Free Senior High School no mo a mejidi se no be ye kwan a ye fa so na emom pa se ye beka se Free Senior High School ye twam ye wo enhyehyɛ ye wo mayimu abanya betwamu bebre wo ba no wa beto aso ye wo sie nkoye na wahunu wom no no wahwɛ no wasiesie enti nei se beba ne se abansa kyerɛ beba nkwada abie sukuu mu no kwada abie sukuu mu no na ntem so empanimfo Charles kuo empanimfo de betudwa so mata mo beba mo mo aduane mfamra aban no ne wasamo ye ne senka appointments mo ye mo de ministers mensa bank education minister wasamo de ne ka ho na ntem so sa problems are unity with education ministry wono no na nka batumi asom ba me gidi se minister ma ye kura na se mo se mo de mo na besi form na mo solve sa problem we ya mo betumi aye because untumi nka se Free Senior High School no beji egu na makoye university first year mo se admission fee no ebeye free no a continuation etino se Free Senior High School munim se there be ya di wait to her ya di wait to ya ne be ya ntam so mama Ghana fonte mama mata nte mama enkwada no we ko school mu wono mo nte because a chance for one announcement on be ye say enkwada ne ba mu faduane ma won de ma dwene ho a beto ne mente ase ma dwene ho a di enti na mo se enkwada ne ba wo emata faduane ma won emfamra letter ya motworo ye said pa se wo de chance kuo na nwumre yi e bo modern se ye ne wo betwetwe nkomo because e ka ne wom aduane na ni ho no mo a ye wo mpanimfo a wo mo hye wo mase o ya sa mo direct mo hawo a mo wo no e de akọhọ no mo a ka ho na wo se ko ba sa wo be da mo ni se mantanye mo meba mo fa aduane ma wo mra since when na mo so mo sha ase se mo yesa eti pa chance for pa se MPP abre so a kasa mo sa mo lete we ya mo de bre ka mbetimi de sa lete no aba se enkwada mfa mu reason ti a mo se enkwada no mfa duane no mra no mo mra na mo mekire ye mu ni entie bi Ghana fo nyina nti bi se esa agwe nti because da no sa complaints we na mo ye o efiri mre santen so e bia o aduane ne mantem ena aduane no ha wom na sa challenges we no mu face da di enti na sa abre no man tworo krata meto ho no mo anka nkyira wofo se mo ma na e ba mo mo fa aduane mra di enti na sa abre nde mo anka eti nne abusua nyenti a chance ko no mpanimfo se e mata mfa nuane ma wo ma emre suku mu honom no ye ne wo betwetwe ho nkomo na sa ban yi so aye na dwen se wo be ye adwuma e wo sa Free Senior High School no wo se eniema ba ko mienu wo ho no mo na sem besesemu a animanimu ya no mo magana fo hu animanimu ya because problems e wo free senior high school num no menyi ni se ndisi aban yimbe ka kire se na yenim mo kasa mo ye trofo motu opposition ni nyina na mo bobo problems no so na enkwada no na aduane na nkwahyew mo kan ya sabre mekai sabre na papa ipo friends akamba breso anache se no woye national organizer yi mutimi kwa sukuu mu kokotwetwa bi na nkwada eba bi oda samijamfi ene akamba those days kokotwetwa bi ba eti problems no munim eti decision amateki ewo free senior high school no ho no manimu ya momeka magana fo nte se free senior high school na bia enuane sam no de matan momfa aduane ne ka momfa aduane no momme ba momma mo omaduane ombedie ana se sukuu ntade ye ombehye momfa sukuu ntade momo we ye simple ye simple momra na momeka bi na Ghana fo nte se sei ena gina ya yesie wo free senior high school no ho nie na emom se chance for se omu so omu di free you so omu di free you no mbe ba beka we di akira matan de empanimfo ba bia mu obi am nkanya am ho abusua medin e de akua boache wa yi Adom yedam live wo Facebook and YouTube ene oba Adom 106.3 FM live Facebook wa adwenche no fa bi to wo YouTube so ano subscribe wo so adwenche no wutumi di bi to ho a ena aseda no yede ma Franco Trading Enterprise DBS roofing sheet ena di Rayman bites wadawroma okita ye mu dendenden ena nwumre yi bani ni shuzumedie yatumi ede ebrewo medin akua boachewa yi Adom mo fra me ABY mejo so na anwumre ye hya ase an tentem so Owura Bright Chapia any executive director Child Rights International wodano ye ne no nhye nkomotwetwen na se ye ka nyina no wanhwe ya abadwin so na ye aban na ye matan na mmom asa sonum ye nuko no ensensan ye wase nkwada nketo a wonka bi nhye mu ene wo ho ebekere won eti se ye ka nkwada fa hodie se ye ntietia so a Owura Bright Chapia ho da wubo odi animu ewo mayimo eja pia enwumre mamu adwomo akwa bamra bani ni shuzumedie so
me Jose okay no
boko de
Dami Adom afishapa
afenkometu yen ye kasa ye na ache medase anwumre se medase pa se waje ye so anwumre e se wo mu a na che se enkwada asem de ye kasa ye gya aka ye ntumi nya aka
David
if say enhihye ye bia ye beye wo magimu no ye yi nkwada afiri mu a na se o man ne da ache na yera eti se koba ne se ye se enkwada free senior high school nhihye ye mu 2024 over 500,000 students enkwada etimi akọ na se enne ye beti announcement se enkwada no and the free senior high school wo a wo mu bia wo ba mata momma nkwada na aduane enni momfa maduane nso om na momfa mra na sa nkwada population na mekan mata nyine benya se enuane ne yede beko nkwada momfa nkọ wabra womwa wo ho yenni kan emo wa no ho ba opani
o say on Corona B school na I think Ghana Education Service Batuja time I saw mudi ABS school Charles by Becca say time na omudi amomo no the school na enya prepared enough and as omo postpone Corona opening no and James GS went ahead with the directives no manka samano but at the point no so na akoye say almost as in Corona ebiani die mu ni ade nti na wo fo no enfamra ohona ye hu se no say yentwa na mo bia 5 years just no obia the beto so or the beto board so na we twitwa na send you on pay because this is a social policy and our social policy directives no aban and deba how we should run it and so far as we are concerned the directives are standing here and say BBF 5 years just will be an aban na fahoka say young Cornelium baby omo beda books or motivation there ni sanye mani nyina no aban aye na adwo so befa And we'd have not had any contrary decision from the state to say, okay, to say I will for and I'm Freddie and I say Omonye Bibi or free SHS no more. And for an institution which is an employee of that particular, that me Baba Kase and Kramfed Yanimra, if he's it undermines the policy framework Nankasa, because we share the three pillars of the free SHS program now. Clearly, it shows that equity is one of the key things that we want to achieve. And the definition of equity in that context, yes, whether you are rich or poor, whether over far or near, once you merit to access education, the system should be able to give you that right to education, which is not negotiable. Even within our constitutional framework, it's not negotiable. Again, a man also says the welfare of Nkrana, the issue of nutrition, is a key in the framework of the policy. And as one aspect of it, we should not take for granted that is basic and fundamental when it comes to issues of social welfare. And then there's a lot of things that are wrong with the whole framework now you operate. But whatever it is, we still face that if there are issues, I say ye twana moko abai honeyabeka yenko kancha, so these are the realities that we are facing with the free SHS. But to direct certain issues to parents or mumfan or na mimi who say or minor twana mo anso so sanya kiti so obeshana obi ebe decide how they want to run social policy in this country. And no na yefi say see a abai adwin ebe so say no say ba issues of social policy like the free SHS program now. We should not allow anybody to undermine the implementation of the policy. And the state must also fully take accountability for the services as they render my Ankara. And if he said there's a need for us to put this issue out there.
Ms. Apia, the directive a fish penning for war chas war a buy, who say undermining free senior high school policy no.
Exactly. The reason why I make us say is undermine the framework of the policy is I buy and buy men can't say as a nyadia obefan koranabiani. Because already I buy say the PFF is just will be obefan hoka. If there are issues you go back to the table to discuss it. So, and one aspect is why I take it for granted. Say, at a point, now GS Ankasa na engage people to provide services to the secondary schools. And I'm realizing that they were not showing consistency. And I'm this no share buffer stock with the intention say buffer stock institutional. You say Bibi to in India. We can easily rely on buffer stock to feed this country for some years and also some days to be. But if buffer stock as an institution is unable to feed the Ankara or secondary school, the problem goes beyond the issue of food. It's an issue of food security. As you know, so Abaisona and as provided the needed services for buffer stock to be able to live up to their expectation. Then we have to go back to the table to discuss those things. But any contrary decision by anybody in respect to what the framework suggests, will certainly undermine the implementation of the policy. And that is why I'm saying that we should not leave room for those things for people to use their own discretion to determine how we should run social policy. Immediately, then the issue, the framework is going to have issues. It may not necessarily be an issue, but because people are using their own discretion, it becomes an issue that would go further to affect the enjoyment of Nkrana rights, in schools, And what that directive, would undermine the policy framework,
What is that directive at Tronchenya, Miss Apia? Na ye fa 2024 ansa na ye betwa bay NDC amanyoku no wonumu manifesto ne nsɛm a wɔka ne ye twero ye ne ye antwero ne ye wo mo ka fa free senior high school hu sɛ ye ba ye be review sɛ direction bi wo hɔ no mo ye clear direction sɛ and the free senior high school no ye ba enye broader yi say ye be review baby ye ba ye uniform free mu enuane ni we ye be koni sei senkasa de no etumi edadi yetimi waye animu a ka wogidi se Charles for so decision directive o mo de ba ye say awu ma time mo me ba mo aduane ni no kanu be free ho no mo aba enye wo mo a omo be so policy no ma beto aso no na we mu no hu ba bi omo edi omo ani hwe nti na bi omo so se da bi emma time mo ba kwada ba mo aduane mra.
Oh, no cry say any ha there many pack cancel. And you know almost na implement policy no mo say o BBC ni say enko ye ntino see etimi so ano. Ba say o be so ano no. Say wo ko nipa na o ka kire wo say implement that policy no. Na o mo de so ano. Senior wo kan no aban no the current government promises that is going to review the policy. O share also almost statement na at the end of the day we put you all together. It suggests that they want to enhance the school feeding program. It clearly, we are expecting that enhancement and what is going to change. But what is needed, when it comes to issues of this nature, say once you build a social policy and you build it around a certain pillars, unless you say those pillars now for which you build a policy, it's not giving you the needed support. And some maybe say the saying one of the pillars now the full fracture na ama emwayede. But those pillars now is issue the issue of equity is very, very important. The issue of diet is very important. The issue of enrollment is key. And you ask yourself that which of these pillars are you going to remove if you are talking about review in terms of suggesting say maybe a uniform a few manner say all these pillars are very important. Into what we are expecting is suggestions of the current government will come to enhance the program. And what are the issues? And you say new issues the issue of the free SHS Nankasano, it borders on management. That is the only issue that we have with it. Because if you are able to strengthen the management system, now say, we are able to effectively run it. A lot of researchers have suggested we can cut costs by 30%. Because there's a lot of loopholes that secret form and said you school manage. The other issue management Nankasano so I say it me the centralization of the procurement of items for the secondary schools. Even if you don't want the schools to do the procurement, I think we should come to a level where even at the regional level, we can decentralize procurement. So that as a school they can easily go to a center to get whatever items or so here. Again, the issue of monitoring and monitoring is very key. Who supervise how they even cook the food for Nkorano? There have never been any menu charter except say and then Nkorabedi Diani say these are the nutritional content a womb. And one say Omudi Diana Kuguho. Now and never be a school no when here cry or multimedia, especially when it comes to consumables. Say how do you procure a consumable from a centralized system to say that you want to send it all over this country for schools to run. Indeed, these are some of the little issues that woman if you are able to strengthen the management aspect of the policy now, a bit to be one to cut costs so that we'll be able to know this is the kind of investment I hate me because it's a policy of why this all cancel this policy, it will spell doom for you. And I don't think that any government will risk or maybe you be a film or the BBH one, so maybe you be a man who won't take care. And I say, I strongly believe that I will have a role to play in the implementation of free SHS Pro. I know there's no doubt about it, but we have to be very strategic about how I able to be a place parent within the whole operational system of the free SHS program, so that at the end of the day, say BB those people become alarm bells are able to be a blue a binder who say. Sabi Niamedia Kono, Sabi Nkoni, and I say, and never been Kono sending and say Kono. Then we can sit around the table to discuss it. So the management aspect of the free SHS India is key. And if there is anything, I aban person ya I would suggest to aban say all share that aspect of it now yentimi nya dedicated fund to ensure say we implement this program. Once we are able to do that, I strongly believe that the beauty of the free SHS program will be for everybody to witness.
Nature say ebi mo adwenkyerɛ ye wo mo so niema wo mu no na dɔɔso enti ka yenyi yi bi mfiri mu na nka ebi kura woni a wo de ne kyese wo be ko de di a na kyese free senior high school no wanya bi wo be ko boarding ananka watua wo boarding fee no wo recommendations a wo de abai in terms of say procurement yem yani nko management of free senior high school yem managing ye and the monitoring. Na sa wukura da nka hu ne se enwo se yeyi bibia free mu se yeyi feed ya free mu yeyi we ya free mu yeyi we ya free ka ho de enuru ho kura
yendu ho kura nyama aban de me ye won kora ye support to omo ko secondary school even the entry point nkora de be ko school kura I can tell you on authority because you are born kora omoko ebinimut awufo no mo nkrasi kwa to be spending 2,000 to 5,000 to 5,000 Ghana cedis to be able to enroll themselves in secondary school. And nyama kanya ke ko beto to ama akwara na dia school class is between 2,500 and 5,000. Into already there's a burden on a year. Awufo no transfer those burdens to a year. But if you look at all the component of the free SHS program now, these are not something that the state cannot say on to be fair. There's no policy can be a burden on the state, especially when those policies relate to investment into the lives of young people. And we should not take it for granted. And I say we should not make room for people to undermine the policy in terms of say the responsibility of command or say mean to me man family man go school. And as the command or before the first cabra and family. Now as you and or channel benyama or at the change minyama. No. We don't want to have that experience at all. Yeah, we want a policy that will be very consistent to be able to achieve the pillars now established. Because once we begin to remove and then the issue of equity will be in question. Because the principal pillar of that particular policy is for us to achieve equity. And if we do anything that would undermine that principle now, I don't think a bit to me abwa because the issue of management, so bind to me at the issues were let's give ourselves 6 months or 1 year. We'll come to a reasonable conclusion that indeed issues are facing our free SHS in Yano, Sena or Honewo.
Eti one almost so I suggest say you be here menu list. And also be can ho and so be
very important. And also very important because the Nibia Nibia Yabama Kora SA but the nutritional content will be enough to deal with the issues of health about Akorano. Into the menu chart, it's like we are training a lot of dietitians or memoir. Sabi, they can come together to give us a comprehensive menu about how we should feed our children. The cost of feeding a child a day will not be up to what we are spending now because we are not following a due process in it. Among the whole thing we look at is very expensive. But I strongly believe that all those components must come to play for us to be able to say okay, yes, I know, but still and never be and the entrance in the areas of Bisubetimia. But I don't think with what we have now, I don't think that you do as a overburden when it comes to the implementation of the policy.
Miss Apia answer na bekrono ma mesro no agina so madwuma amuye e matan yi de ka ho mo ne mata na chesa ye hani ha na moko decision bi amu take mu eti yenhwe mpanimfo e wo PTA kuonum so because ye ka to da matan ni so bi se o aban no nko gya bi ma ya nka ye betumi aye enka ye betumi asom eti yenhwe senne no abasa yesi review na ye je PTA empanimfo so ewo mu adwenkyere a mesre wa mo agina so amame na mene oba pani arensam sima kakra ya twetwe nkomo ne ahwe ne omo so efiri omo ho no mo ba oba pani anwumre ma memo adwomo akwa ba mra ba ni ni suzumedie so
yo meni ampa cho me jo so
boko de
boko
eja free senior high school ya ho nkomo na anwumre ya twetwe na yenua wa wunua owura bright apia na sam ode atudwa ne se baby ayeduru no ɛwɔ sɛ yɛhwɛ free senior high school na hin yɛduro kwanya yɛfa so manage no niema enko yeni atoto ne yie in terms of procurement ne enko yeni ahwɛ wɔ hɔ no mo na monitoring so ayɛ adwuma ogidi sɛsɛ yɛ ma yɛni ku ɛno ho a free senior high school no yɛbɛtumi ayɛ amana yɛ yie ɛba mo so mafamu ɛtɔda ne ɛne mo twetwe nkɔma amusi o abaya gye niema ne nyinaa bɔ so ntumi nyɛ onya bi ma awofo no ɛna yɛso yɛntumi nsomu bi ɛnɛ sɛ yɛsɛ mo mfa madwen kyerɛ mmra na sɛ yɛyɛ review wɛ free senior high school mu a PTA mu de ne sɛn
menu amedase na mefa akonya so de ntia kɛseɛ ama otiefoɔ ne ahwɛfoɔ nyinaa na yada mate so ɛwɔ abebia nkɔma mo ne yɛtwetwe ɛfa ehumesua ɛho na yɛn as a council de edwumedia ne sɛ yɛbɛsɔ aban asene ɛwɔ kwan biara so esan sɛ gyitum sɛ education no a shared responsibility enkwankoye baakofoɔ asɛdeɛ nkoa na say metie yɛra bright appear ansama ɔde atudwa no na ne na ne sɛ yɛyɛ asɛm a yɛka ne sɛ yɛfa ne sɛ te sɛ aban sɛ media mɛfɛnie but ɛno so is not forthcoming na sɛ yɛmba no ho ɛkyerɛ wɔ ma he doesn't expect us to yɛbɛtena sɛ yɛhwɛ han ahwɛ sɛ yɛmba no ɛho bɛkyerɛ wɔ mo and we can also believe to say and that yɛka say no yɛnkɔkɔra no asekyerɛ mu te sɛn wɔ free senior high school policy no ɔmɔde die mu te sɛn are we saying is the best of all and now say be a year yɛhwɛ over the years any and that we understand sɛ nyɛma boa yɛ deni adeɛ but can we say the quality no are we really getting it nti yɛn as a country yɛ awofoɔ no yɛn so yɛ hyehyɛ ma yɛn ba nti enkoye says aban si men na saban nya na si yemba no ho kire o ma we will sit down and look on like that and no there is me yan sa nti yan asoma ye kan ni say aban hwe say so ni sika obetimi dia ye free senior high school o ma ye said I don't have the funds to sustain it and a man my yan dwene de biara da say yen awofo no we are not capable say the ebetimi ayama yen but yen tumi yema yemba we can do it for our children no matter where we are coming from and whoever we are about biara enim janiba bedie that fact there obedient means if you about biansem but sabansi me social intervention e dia ma yemba na se the also yen want to me nye na se ne ba school no ndidi na se bia nyama ekoso ye na se quality of education onya I will not sit on and look on as a parent ebe ha madwen if you stand me say sabansi meya owo sika na obeya na as sika na beba wano na as we speak now most of the schools enye dwane wo mudi abra man penny access yem the new schools no and we even don't even know the kind of food that ye dey call and omudi kwekwa sika mbeni da no the hell don't have it and since I came 2 years 3 years sika mbaye so what are we talking about here? So that's our position. And they say, is government really fully prepared? Say, or be funding now? Our funding by a prompt now today. Say yes, idea. They should bring us in. They would get there. I bet you also now saying, they have PTAs over the years. We have built classroom blocks, libraries, dining halls, staff bungalows. We have done all these things. And even today's Ghana, before we call boarding school, crano. Provision will kakra media and that from sir. So yes, we are spending more than we used to. But I don't just say you're very linguistic, your responsibility as you are buying so let's buy something in commitment that we will sit down and look on. And the
Madam Sam, can no. Say yes, see the data be ye juma. Ewo free senior high school in terms of say yemfa enrollment nkwampo no a. E ma time betumi asum. Ba minyin ni se matan nyina na betumi aso be nuntina and the free senior high school no aban otwa mu betumi aka se enrollment na kosoro nipa dodo akane na wo mu ko secondary school no akosoro ti na che se tie bia no enema ni bia aban no fa ye no eboa enuntina mi bisa se ye beka se be gya ma matan mu nko a mu mfa ni nyina bi betumi aye mu mfa ni nyina no bi e be ye den eti se bisa se de he na mu betumi asom ehe na mu betumi asom ana mu de mu de ne sa aban ye na ne wantumi anya ne yabegye aye sen na mu gina hia ankasa
Minia, dia yen kan ne say yenim say aban commitment e wo ho uniform ni ade examination ni ade edidie mu any other things ni ade a aban say me ye eno e de aboa ama the about time ye hu ahihan kakra. And we also know for the fact say some of these interventions even though not anyone no na it was scholarships ni ade wo ho ye were bursaries ni ade wo ho a oma yen kan say bia yen say na anye pe no at least e mo browa for kakra no there were systems for why it's in the show. But I'm not saying say free senior high school now ban enye access ne dey aba. But yen as a council, our major concern is the quality that we are bringing out of these children. No, and quite some who classroom be brave. And ye be a didn't yet show no. Are they picking it? Are they getting the content out of it? As in very senior high school, I can come. Good, senior category or bet me for himself or herself and now. Yes, sure, all these areas, and we are not saying say, something bad, and I say, a banner say, forever away. Your position is say, whatever government feels that I can do and do it well, oh my young, then wherever that he wants a cushion up, the little way that we are already doing, we also do it to support the program. Say they best sustain it and run a year can. Into year. We don't have this and that and that. And no crano, a very national dialogue with our members in the coming weeks near there to also ascertain their views, say, which way do they want us to come in? But here your position is say, evaluation the commitment levels and see where the government needs a pushing up. Then we can also come in and help in that regard.
Ms. Apia, me jiri say what PTA council penning for so a decision.
Yeah, Mate na near Mrs. Penny no. It comes back to the same thing can say if we have practiced a policy for a long time, now you see a reviewer. These are suggestions that will come on the table. Ebetimi abwa. So if the PTA no fees omo bibika when they are doing the review, some of these suggestions they can put it on the table for us to see the it would also benefit the implementation of the policy nana. Na niametri ya adwamana ko gina ho ne say ya ka free SHS program no. But the policy itself is built on a certain principle. Until sometimes if you really want to do justice to the implementation of the free SHS program now, we should go back to the foundational pillars now they build the policy no. Then we would understand the context in which we did that. Because when the implementation in Bayern, initially we advocated for the fact that the program should be targeted so that they should rather benefit from the program. They would pay for it and all that. So it should be a targeted intervention. But you realize that the way and manner we have built our secondary school, doing it targeting will mean that the amount of money crowd spending to do targeting will be more expensive than say would be a universal program for everybody to benefit from it and all that. What she is saying it is in the right direction as to what parents can also do to sustain the program. But listening to her, the issue how the involvement of parents, it goes beyond the feeding and choir. It's talking about quality of education. And when we talk about quality of education, there are a lot of pillars that makes quality education quality. And, if their participation, as in America said, the monitoring of how are rendered by children in schools, parents can serve as the alarm bell for us to so that if we be within the framework now, parents can easily get to know. So Ankara and perform well in schools parents can easily detect that. Maybe a central government will not immediately see it. But once a blows our alarm bell, it will send a signal to the system to know and never be indeed, if it is possible, now Banji to say parents should play a role in providing certain services. I don't think that is a wrong decision. But my concern is that in all these things that the year come let's go back to the foundational principles now the established policy. Once we understand it from that angle, we can put up a suggestions to make sure say we run the program effectively. Because at the end of the day, no, whatever program interventions are added to, there's no government that will say Sabio to me implementing social intervention, because the best of a social intervention is born by the state. And if the state, there's no way the state can say Sabi mean to me feeding Kora secondary school in our for Mumra Meboame. And I say mean to me tonta dear man Korano, uniform man Koran in Mumra Meboame. But the role that the parent can play in that to ensure that a bunch of better uniform man Kora, a bunch of better me feeding Korana, is the government doing that? So yeah. And then I say, yeah, I will follow. And I'm over the year to need to abide and leave it to that responsibility. But immediately, I'll say you are bringing a hard service within the framework of the policy. None less than I will for any Debian, I will be any school because then Korani be or survey and then the papa will be active in service, but or chino backup pension. Would the parent be able to be in a position to provide those services? And even cocoa farmers, you know the seasons of more determine the income levels of more. There a lot of young guys are right international. Yeah, do much school more every year. There we spend millions of cities to pay for their provisional because their parents are not in position to do it. And to share energy as the cry, our Pama, some Korano cry school cry, they are able to place them in schools based on the results no manyano. Then we will support those children to buy provisions for them, to buy a Nyaman Kitin because they can't do it. All these things must come to play. And to say, I will for you or how fees or play that role now. I think that in the past, and now Bayern wanted to open that window for Ahunfo to contribute to the running of the free SHS. There's a basket. Who is Ahunfo no Sika Timmy to basket from Munasa Bambi to me their running program now. And so be it. And we can go back to those decisions no man making in the past to see if indeed parents are bent on contributing money to run the free SHS program now, then that basket will be available for them to go and put their money in a Bible program.
Miss Apia ansana mejawo ama wajiwa humeno. Sabri ye the right time Yebeka said the promiser NDC amanyokono eye in their 2024 manifesto you omoye say ye to abewi omode be yadwuma say ye the private schools no beka the implementation of free senior high school no. Is it the right time you bet me the private schools no aka ho?
It will be very difficult for government to do that because enya dia meka say aban at or attempt to cry say o the free SHS ever meka private school. It's Ubi Sami America say it's not a policy that the government needs to attempt because the public institutions the issues around it we need to look at that first. Now there are certain private schools, we have different levels of private schools because we call in a private school, but we share the way a manner school you can't classify it as a private school. In that context, now you want to provide certain services there. It's understandable, but to issue a blank check, say we want to roll the private schools in the free SHS program. No, I think government will have difficulties, and if there's anything possible, I think that a year or two to be able to do all the feasibility studies and see that indeed but for now, I will not be a person to say that a bank should enroll the private sector or the private schools into our free SHS program that we have now.
You, Miss Apia, meja una mene yamame samwa twaso medasi anwumre se wajebreni ya twetwe nkomo. Anti sa mejidi se oda so woso.
Me patron ai mo so pa.
Yenhwe directive a Charles mpanimfo de baaye se nei enkwada no be suku a awofo anuane de momfa ma wo mra se ase nuane eni ho. Sa nsemi magye atum enkwada no be ko suku mode enuane be so awa mo de akwa na se ne o kan se dru baabi na aban ho kire no a mo so se wo se mo ba mu a mo beba mu no mo be kom e wo sika semu ana se nuane mu
Enya, the attorney say, Charles for the Inka yanu ma na yanante, yanu ma na ye juma. Say ye share your schools numa. Charles for penny for you and me heads of schools are. Almost manage schools no. Almost choir as official members. Our executive committee board no so. Intika womo die ye ne wo ma ensusu nsem ho nyame nkoye wo schools ne mu no. Omo ka kye ya na ye no ma to adwene. Na afi ene awofo ndodo na akasa. Na afi de mu abi a ye de aboa wo mo. Inti na sa yo gofa ne de enka wo ho. Inti na ye nwa pa se Charles for ebe pa ye council no ho. Na wo de direct message akoma awofo se ye mfa nduane embra. Ye mba ni be school a ye mfa nduane enka ho. Every the new school be feed you. In all my medical cocoa the dana puno. No more dear say, we didn't kaka back home with you. It's a figure, no some IAD, it was schools. And I hear this task for say. Over the years, here no matini yano. In same you are almost to mean cat. You also more catch and one more can't say. Now, I say, who common some, it's some ministry education employees in Tino. In same you are almost to mean cat. Into the name be now be a hint. Now I some company I tell on ministry nama. Meanwhile, no they forget that bomb somewhere for schools to my embano. Into say Bibinia, we have a say in it. And now we are also responsible for Yambano. Into over the years and no matina yeno. You must say animal man, Oma to me and can't say and no pono, Bibi Sapa, who can come on true. Am I paying for your council? So, may you as a council, any members in the room come on. But to go directly to parents, say, Munyes, in fact, if on a dear, young so many year crown boying. But notwithstanding, no, yet you are say, again, some enquire year was schools no more. Into a more qualify our form, young woman than a young boy. Or feature, yes, we are so ma, yeah, Blanca can cry, yes, so. Beya or how no etubecha and son maybe a bind and then Mboa abem not beya ye who start feeding way no and your schools no mobile.
Madam Samsa oka se maso mu a moboa mudi nuane ko schools mu ho ana say matai no na magye atum se ye me kwa ye ma wongere ye ka bankudi aso awa mwako.
Yo meaning ade tene say e ba no bankuni ade dia ye ntumi fe bi ma wo mo. Ye na enim say boarding school system no udi provision any garden shitoni ade but the aye say apart from garden shitoni nyama de ba ka ho ama nkoda no ye san discuss so ka wo mo kaka ebenya no ina ye say in every school bi I won work canteen wo ha at least in bani between ton to aduane ni ade wo around that o metia to bi kakra e dia supplemented dia e be mo modern wo no it is that system yes for the interim no and son and wedu wa ebeba na aso sa feeding ano
yo ene ma sha ase ye de ani bedi akire minim se mo ka ne se ya na ye schools akase mu nko a na se enkuro nketua mu so no mahu se sa ne ma we ne wo kan ye bi koso wo ho no mo de
menu ampacho an yen ye ku no all the 16 regions in Ghana into school biara connected to us. Yes, she said, Bibia Ebecoso, but the attorney say, yen to me, young could do a tree. Esan say, a quack ye impromptu idea about to yen. Read the first time Charles are calling on parents say, yen friend you any idea, and come my young ban as yen fan come so move the schooler into a quack in Yasam. But yen him say, a situation na mama casa. But yes, as a counselor, you know my age all these years, no. Yet, in some okay, you go no. Into I would see no a woman. Into yet, no man and Nantia. Into whatever support the ano. Yet the mom did that. Into that support we so you go show yet the mom and to say Benyamoa and my baby to HR.
Yo, Madam, you may ye better was say near the West here.
Yes, Madam, I say, for Queen with the mammy.
Yo, ebusia enia yeti ye Madam Irene Sam ono ene kasama for my PTA council no en watch mu se amatai no o matie daetiva Charles kuo no mpanin for the baye no matie ntie se o ma hya ase soso asene ewo nuane e wose nkwadaa no edi mu na yenkwa homa so ye ka no se ekodu baabi na ne NDC abayin mpanimfo kan se wode beye adwuma se da bi free senior high school no mo de ne nyese omo betwam ombe review ye review himfa die ne ye kase ye review a eno no die ne ye yi afiri mu ye de bi beka ho die ne ye beye yenko ye wo mpanimfo bi wo ho no mo ma hyeda ye nhwehwemu free senior high school no biribi da no mo ka se da bi ehia se eye pilot nkura ne ye kasabre ye improve niema anye ye nanke ye bi free mu ye beko University of Ghana Legon Professor Dua Dwomo ekirade e wo ho no mo ene mpanimfo e ba ban kontabuo mu ne ho nhyehyeye a pani nimde e wo ho no mo Prof Anwumre ma memo adwo na mo afihia paso
Majo so ABY
boko de
nyame adom boko na mo so
adom na bi eti adom FM so de na chese wadom ye da se papa se Anwumre waje ye so na eniema ni bi ho no mo schools bi omo moto se ye omo de ye adwuma ne omo nsem omo ka se baabi de minim school cross dwenhwe kan minim se nei ye ka mo research amu ye dadada me kai se ye no twetwe nkomo obani ni suzumadi so na sa abire no mumpo no ebia na challenges no enye bebre na nyi ni ti sei enso mo se da bi ebri bi bedu wo se ye koni sei ye wo se ye koni sei eti dwenhwe kan no na ene edu ho no mo no eti nei se akoba se Charles mpanimfo se enuane ho ayeden ye nya nuane ye de be man kwada eti se nkwada na ebe suku a awofo momma wo munuane o mode beba die na ya nwian hwe kan wo ho die na sabri e wo se ye be ka se nye late prof
medase ma me fa kwanya yeso nchia watiefo nyina in fact misumiti the chance for mpanimfo na de betu dwano na edana kwa mpepepe I remember say yes I studied funding from Development Impact West Africa and a GIMPA and a Hewlett Foundation in the US and my funding to do the research in 2K work in Ankasana. It has to do with evaluation of the free senior high school policy and a double track and I share factors are now contributed to the fact that normal being relative to the free senior high school. And tonight you explore the challenges and the barriers associated with the implementation of the free senior high school. In this study, was published in Africa Education Review, I think somewhere in 2022, 2023. Study, And to share some charts for Canada, research, came out with some of the challenges at the school quality of the food and dema and krana and kasa. Besides and also were a lot of challenges in terms of the delivery of quality of education for Enkrano. And to me piece because even as at the time na study parents are interview or monobebrena ka say or more prefer say be a cost sharing beboa. Headmasters need so say almost share cost now because them say burden too much kakrama or difficult for them to feed that number of students now no more until because of that in a interview some matron and mama say compared to even 2016 that time when I crying to almost fees maybe so compared to Nana free senior high school na then abano omuhu say quantity ni quality na nkra ninya wo school on so ayeda abafem the same sentiment na headmasters and also a share and don't forget beside headmasters nene matron for no interview parents and also so mama no wo school you say interview students and now you're very consistent in terms of our responses to some of the challenges and barriers associated with the implementation of the free senior high school it is a chance for company for about because the need for them to quickly look at it because challenges may be logistics, I mean financial, maybe inadequate quality of the food now will be honor. It be books, availability of books, it be availability of lab equipment, and sending in a Abasham Kata. And anyone wants to more recommend this government now, new government in the being found. Don't forget, after the time when I started, it was really difficult for headmasters not to open up. And some of the schools, interview headmasters, a big challenge, hostile, so we needed to convince most of the headmasters, for them to be part of the study. And finally, they agreed to be part of the study, and the moment they open up to the challenges. But of course, for every important study, this are not consent here, and yes, we are sure more privacy, confidentiality, by allowing them to go through that informed consent, more open up. And the challenges now no more and they are more those challenges existed way back in 2021, 2022, when yesterday, those challenges were there. But as to say, I am worse and not there. I cannot tell because we've not done any current study. They are looking at challenges and barriers associated with the implementation of the policy. As of 2022, when we're doing this study, now they are more they were really, really struggling to the extent that some of the audio recorders, they were saying, sometimes they are unable to come out because of the victimization and all that. Some headmasters were even using their own pocket money to support. To that challenges, there were a lot, basically.
And 2 years ago, and now crowd is 2025, Muntiabekan says 3 years ago, Monshishemu, moye, say, and ne challenges are headmaster for areas, a siso pepe pa. Nature say, ye use more recommendations, and Monshishemu, moye, no more recommendations be womua, na ye usua a beye ye. In the era, government, our teso say, ye beye review. Eti mumu Monshishemu, moye, niamu ye, niamu jidi say. Hasi ena se ye be yen sachraye ye be chim bibi esese ye chimwa for more research no mu na wose ye de ani hwe.
Yeah, so first of all, there must be comprehensive review of the policy. And that thing came out clearly. So we need to really look at the problem now kasano enye the policy itself, but problem now was the implementation of the policy. So it was in a bit of a rush until no shut down and I affected policy. Until one of the recommendations and all share manuscript, it has been published already. So the big in Africa Education Review. First one was comprehensive review of the entire free senior high school education. And in terms of cost and also we suggested about 3 different approaches against government via fire. The first one was on cost sharing. Frankly speaking, now according to headmasters, if you look at the amount of money being pushed into the free senior high school, and even the delay in the release of funding, because now government even those is kind of a big delays, but some releases can now say normal the brain. If most of the headmasters can recommend cost sharing, say government then for the fees and all those things, but feeding and all that now. And parents and support it. Say that they are more quality of food, not just the quality, but the quantity now. And no better cost. And then the other suggestion that came, LFF. If government really want to continue with this free senior high school policy, there should be a dedicated source of funding. Finance say a new taxes be and a government in Nigeria, it should be dedicated to only the free senior high school. And there be a constant flow of income, and as a resident one, and they are directed purposely for the free senior high school. Young first can in the DB and they said, yeah, to begin at all. A 0.01% tax. That tax is going into that free senior high school. And no massively out from that, and the another can be a call. And if you just a constant flow of income, based on revenue, based on specific tax, look it for the free senior high school now. Not only take your honor game, and also Babuapa, and to getting that, and looking at cost sharing to some extent. Say, parents in the baby home, a carry. That's the government not far. It be at the provision of textbooks, paying of the fees, and all these other basic stuff. And I know again say yes, sir, no money. Yeah, a bit not policy, I sustainable. Of course, we agree say it's a good policy, but in the challenges, I can say the implementation of the policy. As let's say, can it be whole? But government was trying. Almost best just to mitigate effects. Now, but if you have a constant flow of revenue, allocated purposely for free senior high school, yes, I for maybe a cost sharing, and no bit to me, I'm very sustainable. But that's what we stand there, share responses now again from the different target population, from the parents, from the civil society organizations, from headmasters, from matrons, from teachers in the school. Most of the key stakeholders, there should be comprehensive review to really look at it. The other major issue, the quality of education, because of the double track, most of the masters complaining saying they are not even able to complete the syllabus. They just are trying to be that child is supposed to take extra classes and also cause burden every parent and the parents now also have to to the fact that some crano every few say they are double tracking to do every few 2 weeks or something and all that because or be some class syllabus no there na almost say in killing the syllabus and parents were forced to do extra classes for more kids and also ankasa in itself the additional burden by parents. Most of the say Sebia or mono cost sharing a double track system in every one at least another board and say the same time will come home maybe a cook case come up presec say one extra classes for 2 months to Sebia this other track but no more so back into a bit of a challenge for parents and also so I think by and large there is a need for that review, and it came out clear from our research that there should be a comprehensive review. The headmasters must be allowed to talk, to voice out their concerns. Parents also must be allowed to voice out their concerns. Other key stakeholders in the educational sector must also be allowed to voice out their concerns. And based on that, I think it's a genuine solution to the problem.
Yo, Prof. Mejiri say ye can stakeholders in ne say ye can mobeba be ka ho bi because of the research amoye and information ekita mu ntie du ho na mpanimfo se o ye review stakeholders ye hia adwenkyere a Mejiri say mode no hyemuboto mu ambetimi ayibi ama mo anasa ne wo kan wo out no so mo aso ebe sikifo no mode aka ho a edu ho a ebehu ne ebesi anwumre ma me na wase wo mo a wo de aboa yen Ebusia eni a yeti ye Professor Dia Jomo Ochade University of Ghana Legon senior lecturer or a researcher so and a prof researcher say oni ni team ye ni omuru ye 3 years ago free senior high school mu no kan say eno a dada no a eno a na chance ko ni mpanimfo abodo eka na ebusia ma memfa madwenkyere ni bi mefa ma dwenkyere no ebi na mami jesu ade yode aba Facebook or say me pese mi hu extra classes a ya chesa wofo bi ma wo ma na ye cost sen yemfa compare from going to school free yenye sa comparison no enhwa de Elvis o message a wode ba ye ma me kope ba ko a wudi kan de ba ye na ma ba se ha se de ye a say wode abai Elvis Kwajopoku was say me pese me hu say ye ma directive bi say students no omo be school provisions mo mfa bi ma e wo free under free senior high school ana because mitie oba pani are some asemo a all kanu ase enkomo na ya adan yakọ yese nkwada wo ko school no na sesei akade omode be ma wo te se provisions na omode ebe ma won Kwadwo so utie ma me na asemo kan ya wo si feeding fees ka omode ma omoma ne dada no eniema omode ma omokọ no na sesei no omudi bi ka ho because say yes omo ba na omumfa nuane mra nti se kane no na bia se okọ na miloni do ne wode kọ no oso o mapagem and the free senior high school minim say yet danya uko school scholarship wo mu odian yo provisions de o de kọ nti minyi ni say edubiri bi me ka say provisions me emfa bi ma because say free senior high school provisions de me gidi say na obatan bia obe ko school a amfa bia mana say ne ntoko no obeko no na komensa pilatu de ayo de abadom kwabenya constituency en wo so wo se akua free senior high school na ne adan operation feed yourself no wahu Ghana for mu jejereje mo se ne mo pe eno a na mo nsaka no free senior high school no say yes operation feed yourself oba na so aduane na ade aba Isaac intim de ayo de aba wo se akua ma menchia wo na me show free Jamaica Sintan na yetie mu dendenden ewo Jamaica wo se abanyi enhwe en wa medada Ghana fo wo bibia hu ye mpefo 19 bia o masem o muka ye na ndisi fo make sure say wo be ne pepepepepepe enye na ada asem bia ena Elvis ne wasan ede aba wo se madam me pese mi hu se enkwada no wa bra na wonumu o se den omutua fees no na extra classes no omunya na eju oso de ya ode aba eno no mami jesu na ebisa classes sika omutua Helena Pamford de ayo de aba wo se akua me de me nana sa free senior high school we me nana bi anu awie school ku amanfo prayer kɔ manfa me ba bi ankobi manfa me nana bi aso ankobi efisa me de na nya de a mani eje ho yo ebi nso ebo a wo mo choice eti abusu ama yankwa homa so na IFES kuo no executive director ya woda wano Dr. Peter Pate Anti ye ne no entwetwe nkomo Dr. Nwumre ye mo adwomo akwa baba ba ni hwehwumadie so
meje so everyone
boko de
nyame ado on person me dan semele
dog eduru biribi a ye da enye yie jesi e ma osiri pe kakra ne ye kabom Nwumre ye frɛ wa enye bona dok ansa na chese ye beko ya se mpa so kra no eye wo nwanwa directive a wo chese free chase mpanimfo ho no mo ba se nkwada na ebe suku a momma waduane no wonfa mra wo ti ye nwanwa
oh David I feel say sometimes when you are frustrated na what can we know say those who are supposed to help now almost feel say your views are not worthwhile. You resort to certain directives that what feel say in that way no ebema won so ho aha they say abuano or the any brain eka. So I think it's just the response of how the ministry and the Ghana Education Service were treating them, and I think that is why they also came out to say that, because very disheartening. So we head of a school now when it's a part of the animo now mufra yiba. It's a one kata ufia wote adetena wudi sawo una kwa befato ma bibi dia ya sesen na ho be yo now keep a whole sometimes over 1,000 students now nim say aduane wo no enye enough for them. You be frustrated So I understood them. I wasn't surprised they came out to say that.
Eji so obi ka se omo pro omo hododo efise aban yi a waba foforo yaka so obe review free senior high school echi nka momma aban ne bre efise MPP abre so a enka sa asem we nka muntumi nka muntumi metwero woni sa afọ ne ya adwen
MPP abre so nka muntumi nka ne de me ne o ya adwen because nyina ye ni say as far back as 2021 some of us started raising this issue. And when you speak to individual headmasters, or after some of the interviews and those things that we do, you will get people calling you to tell you, say anything. I remember I had an interview with one matron, one of the secondary schools. The woman told me, I can't one day no be pensioner. Remember me that interview, and I can't even actually. So of course, people were scared. They were not willing to give out the information. And normally, almost sure say they chance on that opportunity to say the things and moment to me and the anchor, especially when they wanted the real opinion to be postponed. Yes, and like they said, he felt then at this time, let's come all out and then let people know what is really happening in the administration of our secondary school.
Teenager say, yes, or my pre. Me say nature say yes or my promo ho ananso o ma sheda say ye be gua aban bi gusi.
You see, me, I have said, I was thinking the current government would treat this food shortage, as an emergency, just like they did with the energy issues. They put together some committee to look into the energy issues because they felt a critical area. They needed the immediate attention. If I was thinking that is what they would have done with the secondary school challenges, Of course, we are now being told the chief of staff is in charge, is supposed to handle this with the Ghana Education Service. So, yes, they are treating it as an urgent situation. And
Doc. Hello, Doc. Mesona, what down who kakrame, one woman need to trust it. Hello, Doc. Hello, Doc. Abusia boy humodena yesa eka Dr. Pati Antia Nino Atwaso network no. Hello, Doc.
Yeah, mpacho
na wa homa ni twetwasi na ne wo kan na de yen besi so wo say ye appointing ministers yes ye di academy en saba me ne na me hwem se ne wo kan ni say education de ne be ka ho na nka ye ntentem ba sa ne wo kan mampani si chief of staff ensom tu hu ne se ne kwa so ano no ekosi wa
I was thinking said the Minister of Education the government the president appointee I felt the issues in the sector, not even the secondary school alone. Since last year, teacher for a year training that number say mad year various basic schools almost a down school because teacher issues the colleges of education teachers union issue since last year they have not been teaching almost strike. I think they went for strike for a long period. The schools were closed down. Check a Kirby and this year almost as a COVID. So there are a lot of challenges education sector. In my mind, then I was thinking the earlier we get the head for that particular ministry, the better it will be because we need somebody to try and calm down some of these issues now. Provided the needed direction. But of course, for the food situation in India, President Chief of Staff and I don't know how they would also deal with the teacher issue.
That is why it would have been nice if maybe within the week we will have the nominee for the Ministry of Education. But it's very important that the person going there is named as early as possible, so that some of the things that are happening in the sector, obey to me, I take control now. What's really that's a fellow? Am I in
Yo, Doc. Ma yen train na yen hwenti nei no se ba se empanimfo ka se review was here de ba momo angle no hefa na hu ne se ye hia no agent was here system we ye was here yi free mu we ye was here to enhance the free senior high school policy.
About President, I indicated say Omoba be put up a committee. I be go round and as Omoba some consultative assembly. Now Omoni na yedin komo afa akwan ye education ebe ko. We are patiently waiting for that particular opportunity because of course yes, free senior high school one what challenge. Your basic education is in disarray. You know, say capitation grant for some time now and school fee the problem be brave. So challenges in the adults. But for the senior high school in there, I think the first issue is to look at the whole process of the food supply model now. Yeah, adoption. You know, this is before the current model, now headmasters handle the food supply system. So it is one of the areas, and of course, the industry in Akasampo Akan say will reverse the food supply process, back to the heads of the various secondary schools. I think that is what we should do, so that even when the money is not there, because the headmaster feels responsible for that particular activity, he or she will find ways means to deal with it. But now, said you need to so you to me take any initiative because so I think that is one of the first things that they should look at, and of course they have said it in their manifesto, and we are hoping that they would look at it from that perspective. Again, we are all talking about a sustainable funding for the policy. I've said them. We need to find ways and means to ensure that the policy is sustained. In its current form, who say, Abina Usebo, now Ontimi and Fandi Adini, and a can appeal go one yen. Ain't the Esa Bino, our phone, or Esa Otimi ways and means that Obetimi have funded this policy. Debiano Sikabo. The way to go around it, there are so many policies, there are so many suggestions. Let me say, Mr. New copy crowd, me paper be I don't know if you had it. And a whole lot of things they can do to fund the policy. So there are so many ways that they can do to ensure that there's a sustainable mode of funding for the policy. So these are two urgent things they should look at. In fact, I've said that the problem of the free senior high school is almost 99% finance. So when you get the money, you'll be able to do so many things. The other issues maybe just a research.
You and you may doc, yeah, my yana was it, not yawo na home. Why?
Martin Medaso.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Dr. Peter Pati, Auntie, Executive Director, Yawoda IFE School, no, ano, eti, any kata or macho, adventure, mode, abanji, me cradi, me say, Sabayi, and adventure, sa review no, or beya. A month for the candy adventure, no, and you're from Finance Minister that day, Finance Minister that as well, so, or an adventure by no cradi, or no, or on Shannon on Fessi Camera, and Fanso Free Senior High School, as no. No, chese one time she say yen wechi den de so yen hwem ni obetimi atua ontua ye wontimi ntua ne na chese nke aso nasene eti adwenkyere ne de amanfo de abafiri mresanten eti se ne abanyi so obeye ho adwuma so obeye review akwan a wo fa so aye review no ye watwen ye mu abusu adwenkyere no bi na aba Facebook, YouTube, and maybe woman so atum na so baby a wo bia wadwenkyere wodi bi aba na Helena Pamfo say every day dikai was a free senior high school yi emu no was say chese na yenim say yade a enka niema beye ye so was say every day dikai no flop chese another form dada was say chese say free senior high school we ejigu ye enye Helena Pamford no na adwenkyere yo de aba fa free senior high school no ho eno no was say MPP ne mampani dada na nado danko akufuado ene oblemu omo for ene challenges ni ohabo a wo free senior high school mu nyina sobo no wo se omo ene wode ebo won ena we so de ayi ode aba mo amoko ntokwa de menka yu nti wo adwenkyire bi a na chese wo de aba na yakan na ani obi esomu den wo ha se ya no enka me messages a me kan ho unbeatable elder de ayi ode aba wo se hwia asomye nka so eja wo se Madam Sam na samu a wo kafa abandada no ho no mepese me hu so no no wo ka bia ma aban yi a wabai anasa wo ka bia ma wo for me ka se wo se PTA cancer ena chese wo mu di animu na ne wo kan ni hu so wo ka ma cancer no so wo ka ma PTO so wo ka ma aban no o me hu ba bia o mu ejina na o madwenkyere so ewo mu a efa sa review no ho ano ode aba because me nyi ni se matan ye wo Ghana nyina na age atum wo se omo de omo betumi ekitam omo betumi abo wo mahoka anase enkwada no kosuku a ne Charlesfo aka no mage atum ye omo beye ono ne Madam Sam na preso David Churchmanson osinyame wo hwe ye nyinada nyame hwe wo bibia ene so onde nyame wo hanyame wo fie sa adwom no ana wo tui Theophilus afade ayode aba wo se akua Charlesfo nim firimre santen se oha wo ho nanso so ombe kasa no ene omo ka oma no twem so a banyi ba ya na omo si one ekwan abedem afeni etimi kasa ene omo asode a chese omo keka kɔ no Ado Francis de ayi awode aba wo se akua boboba sa free senior high school hu nsem no boboba piaga de ayi ode aba wo se akua Ghana for be MPP for say Ghana for ya chose mo de bibia nso mani on be MPP for say piaga so de yo de aba eno no won so ne de ya ode aba no na yenko Owura Thomas Awia ene president yo da National Food Suppliers Association of Ghana ano ye ne no entwetwe nkomo ye kan omo so omo de ka ho so omo no enuane ewo mu a yese momfa bi emra eti omo so ka wo mu a ena empanifo no kasa aduane ama eja maju
maji so mini aba
eja boko de
yame Adom me hoye
na aduane na mo supply no maja ya na
maybe why before I met you know make sure when we see phone with us papa ni akunya odi ama ye enjoy aduane supply say aban assistant previous government na no be NPP ye ni omo ye juma ema ye contract ni ND say somewhere December na bibia ko iwe ye gusu kwa ye di fika kakaka omo etua na dodo na akaka kredi a ye gusu ene kwa skani dia ba omo chichia but ye suppliers no ya crowd ye dey atudwa of various radio and TV stations ye we duane pa in abundance ye duane wo but akase ye binya go ahead no like green light a purchase order from the government or because a monfanko ufa we could say any previous government no was in here they wo say yes yemfanko e de beko
na money buffer stock de no nso ne be na wo mu
ye ne buffer stock na ye adwuma any GCA Ghana Commodity Exchange
money o mo na ye adwuma bom
ye ne o mo ye adwuma bom buffer stock any friends Commodity Exchange ye ne o mo ye adwuma bom
eti sesei no ye bisa se kabi wo ho no mo a kabia ni ho from ne wo kan de na se kabia ni ho
eka kakra wo ho ene efe na meche ne se omugusu utua enye ne dodo obi a omugusu aye hu se omutua enka Akaka create, money every, and necra payment are possible. Into a castle as at now, do a cow, but that is not a deal. And yeah, no problem now now because before a honorable Bichumbekono, release Cabibri, and maybe coil, be answer candy, and Omuguswa Muchia.
Nani ayɛ na Charles mpanimfoɔ bɛka sɛ enuane eni hɔ eti sɛ nkwadaa ni bi esukuu no onu mu ba awofoɔ ma waduane no mfamra sɛ mo se ka kakra wɔ hɔ no mo kraa no a mo ntretin yɛ anasa mo montrani bi asɛ yɛmfa aduane nkɔ ɛna aduane no so enhwɛ to yɛ a die na bɛma Charles kuo no mpanimfoɔ aka sɛ mo ba mo mfa aduane mmra
Mini aba no de ninche mu do be den kakra mi twi mi ente ya na o de ache me kakra ye be den kakra because ejuma ya ache what they say and aban to me be a kakra previous government no so no mo ba ye na so say o yesre mo me ma nko ye kakra nti yesre mo e bi aduane so si nti mo mfa nko ye de ko because ye nim say ni aban na ye ejuma and like I'm saying we no wo ho no kra no e kai wo ho no e bi wo mu de ban nye e ka bia we are ye wo nduane wo ho a aban se ye mfa nko a ye de be ko because ye ni omo ye ejuma we thought say if this new government if they have other plans fine but so we say nkwala na so budidi nti wo ye no as time goes on now with the new policies and now changes a wo de ba mu no now wo di ba ye de ye wo ho ya ready enne yo musi yan fe biane nko omo maye tumi krata no purchase order and I say a contract me say wo fa we ko ha ebe ko nti de ko de yen tiasie
ya mesusu kura wo ka kire mi mesu menti ase na menyi ni se matiefo so etie kura ate ase kire se Charles for the directive no ba ye no se obi ka se memu waduane da ne de wo ba fa aduane bra ne ekira ne se aduane ni ho eti se mo amom supply nuane no mo ka kire ye na nwumire se ye mo ntrani bia se ye mfa nuane nko ena from mo books mu ne mo records so ekita mo no there's nothing like say enuane ni school mu ho no mo ashorto ebia nkwada ne ba fie na ashorto nti na mo kokora no a omo nya bi ni eti sa wo muso mo ka se mo nti ase a hwan bi o na beti ase
efa no enuane shortage ni de eno de sabi me ntumi nka ma school bi ade school bi o ha e bi wo emo ho ba oni anwa obi so ho anwa oni emo ebi ni but general shortage ni de aha me dwai me ntumi nkyere honestly speaking me ntumi nkyere we na short one na say we need biane bia but what I'm saying is it's a continuity aban de say ento aso but wo ba na wo so kita wo wo plans are nkwala no mo be didi into at least you call the stakeholders ye wo mu no ye na ye ejuma no ABC bi na ekoso na ya tena si na ye bobo mo mfanko anama mo mfanko we mfanko that is it we are there ejuma ye o ejuma ye ye didi what you say into ben the sense beba me say aban de ka say me fa biane nko business am ye me ka say me mfanko and see that and I make us say bi wo hokra aban de ka over 1 year kra oba ye na so say o me sremo say ni mo mfanko ye de ko because ye nim say aban obedi o kakra no obetua o ka nti ye de ekoso no in fact npenifo adwen ho saa ye nti ase
monti ase no megidi se moti ase wo campaign NDC amanyuko no ye mu se omo ba asa purchasing power no ye de bemma headmasters no woni ankasa be kodwomekai mampani dada ekọ heya masamai yo di ko tudwa headmaster for ye di tumi ne bema won na omo atonuane no ene ye so omo badwom beans no omato omo ba wei no omato eti from momo angle na amosemo dwene ho amonti ase no mun nwen ko ho no mo se sa asemi implementation ya na hyase no
everyone ye business people and I make us say ye to me the indian ko na shortage aba na ban aka say o ade ni say scare me on the moon stand for bingo what the command headmaster I mean, how possible? Headmaster no better than financing. How can the headmaster or the headmistress finance is billions?
Na enya possible so say aban no sa pre-finance na momu ye aban beka se da bi me di sika ma headmaster for no because minim say headmaster ni sika owo nyina na katua ye kita no na e bi backyard garden a waye niema a wo to na afiri mu eti me di sika no be ma headmaster nkodwom nkoto eno so nya possible
Ebetumi aye possible but say na me try ni say wo be bibi sa na entumi nye immediate say wo buy na wo ye because say be me the minimum say I say yen suppliers ye boa aban because you do baby onishka. Now what they command headmaster. Now 1 month is yen fan say and next month so money be 10 cedi. Not 10 cedi now kwa. Ono be den procure aduane no. Obey den headmaster obey den procure aduane na ba. What did they make us say? We are not against it too, but how can it be implemented? Obey den aye.
And yeah, and no brofo na ade ahye ho na say from momo angle no say yes e be solve sa food shortage no ewo free senior high school no mu a enye headmaster say ekodi dwa na be solve problem no
enye no na be solve problem
momo na mbetimi solve problem no
sa na me hunu
mo soso mabre so ne ete se nuane ashort nti mo soso mo ye solution
nuane na short na me ma example say nuane ashort wa ebi wo we bi ebi ni we bi ebi wo we many workers say headmasters almost 30% of perishable we hu video say call round we hu indiane ankwala ni di we hu say enam da muda we hu enam da ediane muda e perishable ensem de enye ni nyina na ebetumi aka what is almost 30% out of ijuma na ye almost perishable nkosua in Chiniko, more the perishable firewood, charcoal. Chese, Jane Moko, Sanyo Mani Nano, Omonomoto, ye the amount 30%. What do you say?
And you are more moody and a cacrano cred, dear Momon, say you must and Quadani did not name ni more as a headmaster for no.
And your Betty as your Betty as ye.
They say, woo be boom be, Miss Mentebe. Nti asem de wo ka de ne wuye de ne ba wabu no doso ifisa asem no awo ka no kora ampese obewa ani de wada ohun ifisa ne wo kan headmaster for no wo sa de no kora anya 100% ni nyina na wo mo ho mumu kita 70% headmasters no kita 30% etu omo no to eniema e pro niema e besei eniema e besei no so na wo ka say enam enya momo side momo de ne ya buro emo ne sa niema no kra na nse kra ne ese momo amode ko ya proi na ese nam no kra ankopro momo na ekopro eti se ye wonkwada ni didi na nam nimu a na ese ho no free 30% no eti
emo no mpo e na asem no emo no mpo e ni po dis am no ko e no kan association no ye ni mu no
ajo eni ebehwehwe ho no de na ja FDA fo kura so abeyi ya no wo ho no nti enkam ho de eni na me fansi ho no mo a na enei se momo de adwenkyere be ma ban ne sa ban wo bai se wo bibi ya we na ye na fa solve sa food shortage wo free senior high school no a momo de ne say because so say enu free moma fam de an afutuo kakra na mode be ma ne mfansi
afutuo a de be ma aban ne say say ultimate first stakeholders na yetumi share because one aban no continuity niama bi wo ho a aban no nti ase papa e ba ne feeding na aban ne nti ase papa because we tie social media and radio so communicators they don't really understand what the feeding program is. Until we need to dialogue. Say it's massive. Sebi, and I make us say, sika juma, and juma ye. Na then now be wo sika or the better sa anyo manako no te hona yesi in the short school. It doesn't add up.
You, eja, mama na wasina me fancy anyway.
Eso me does.
Abusia eni a yeti Yowura Thomas Awia wone president man National Food Suppliers Association of Ghana. Tiawa yebie nhoma no atum kakra na yede atuapo 0302216561 and 0302216562 betumi afre na wode wadwenche abadwumadi ni so hello Kwamkulin hello
Everyone.
Eja udini baby afrefre.
Everyone, onye abema abanye amedu wedru ashamazeni.
Yo, abanye mienti o.
Yo, mamimbo abasu na mima wa fishapa. Everyone.
Eja.
Se eye sa enyama ekosu wo eye free SHS mu a NDC yo opposition yedi ya no atumu aka abanye a we free akonya so na we bubu ndwegu na so mu a na ontie de na ye ka no mo hu sunsanso a eba papa ye okasa koye nukure na da ho no nka o wu na president Mahama be ye president da no wu no si de ekoso no no onim na wu ni mu president Mahama hwe ene aminu kasa wo se headmasters ni administrators no astati ababontin kasa ebi wa mimiti yayi mi ya victim abatuo na yetu ya enye headmasters ni teachers ni nkoa ene tu abati a MPP o ya ye mbako free teachers no ahunhia ni ahutira na ye femu no enu na ma ye kotu abati a ebi wa mi ba panyin aminu kasa o wa SS o wa free teachers ya o mu kasa free teachers o won form 3 ebi wa could you imagine say this apply course every week dia mi manini 200 Ghana akwai free school ba this is my sako per classes amanu ama minina ko every month dia mi 3 million it no free SHS amudi aba ye kache mu say challenges wo munya review ye ka muntie president Mahama aba no ba betutu niema ye ama free SHS no enwo ya kono
ye da si aban ma memfa afrefo di ho hello Eja hello Eja ma ni so na wo achiri papa hello
yeah good evening everyone
good evening Eja udini baby afrefre
wo fa hidi ni mi ka free center area
yo wo fa mienti o
yo we dey ma me jira uwa kudia Fembon MPP general secretary na me jira afinyo markings na me jira odise uwa tian Japan resume lion for babai na odise MPP national council se hwan no orona anyimri me wo mo so katra ti ha ebra ebo emra odise party enkosu ye nyina na nyina edamoni mo ni anga ho fe
of Edward
yes
and na dem ni national council na maminya free senior school meba mo so some dey some pe no maye mo hu obi fino se some pe no maye mo hu nti udi e kwa ansa na akiri meba mo so hello Eja udini baby afrefre
Pacho ye femi.
Pacho say
Ye femi
Uncle John
yeah
Uncle John means you
ebi wa mani age pato de mi se wa mi sa so na toda o ye ma ye se toda na ye kase mi ye Ghana ne ye mi ya pa iki Ghana ye ni mpanyefo se ubi aba be di o man so se na kuma anse palanko school mami bi owo ma sori ane kuwu enye fesi kesia anka ne ma ebuti na mpanyefo betena se na ya hwese de be ya de no ti ya ti o mu kasa NDC for ya ti o mu wo eyo mu to wo bu kakra o na Ghana no enye ndi so nko dia omu ye dede dodo omu ye dede wo ma ni mu dodo
yeah that's Eja hello
Nyaba
Eja
ni ma prezero sama okonkron budu pa
me wurade a
wan kasa ube ma yapo sama
ama samai wonza kan papers no
mi sanka asasa so kan mi sanka na paper
Ani aya muanan.
Oh, me sai casa. And this is everybody, my mouth shedding. Mouth shedding, so papa.
Medasi minua. So
I
asuma.
That's something to answer. And anything I make answer. MPP. We will be Samuel. We will be JFK.
Yeah,
no, we say Muhammad. I'm a year. Hadia Muhammad. I'm for free. A common one can you see that?
Yeah, Paul. Yeah, Paul. More, say. Man, say, see, no, chirese. Ah, what a munye sa mo, and hwehwe mu no amose mo pese mu hu ni ntia mu lusu ya mkoye nhwehwe mu no. Na say chese campaign no an masa sha ase ye no. Musu kura musu masu awi. Abihwe mfansi ana ye nam ase Ricky Kwasi achena. Ose akua unim food suppliers no or ase omo no new approach no a government no ba no ase omani shada enye ho papa sa na me hu niema o say they can work Mr. Ombetumi ni aban no aye adwuma han say omadwenkyire ni aban ni so die ni na o ma ye adwuma no nemum say ye ne mo nya adwen dendenden sa de emmoa nso ne de ya wodi aban no Andrew Kotoko kese o say bi wan enuane eni sukuu mu no eye MPP abreso e na che say sansem no e ba yo hwo mo de contract se hye wo mo nsem se o mo supply nuane na akoye o mo nkrofo nko a eno so e ka hu bi na de sa ha ne ba ye kwaku esako ne de ayo de aba o se akua chance for the politics and o mu ye o because mo pesa mo kire se sa enei na mu hu se se nuane eni ho ana enye dada mami jesua medase one Helena Pamford nyina medamase papa abusua ma memfa mo ensia na mennamase abelenua wa unim ni obeya chese o message no emma se wo beti pa se nipa yi kasa ase metu ho mo a unim so yes a message no wo ye giram